Hey guys, this is Carl from carlsapsia.com here with another tutorial. If you like all my videos, feel free to subscribe to me down below, like my videos, and leave me any comments if you feel like it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email on the Contact Me page from my website, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so today I thought I would make a small video on how you can use the if statements and the else statements. And if you watched my previous video, I showed you how you can use some basic maths as well. So what we're going to do today is look at, we're going to make a basic program just to ask you, are you old enough to vote and when will you retire? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to define our main program. You can call it anything, it doesn't really make a difference. And the first thing we're going to do is ask for our user's age. So we can say age, integer input, so that means whatever the value that they enter, it has to be a numerical value. And I'm going to make a string function and say, how old are you? Okay, so, and remember to use two brackets because you've opened two brackets here and you would therefore have to close two brackets. Now, we're going to effectively say if the user is less than 18, then they're not allowed to vote. And if they're over 18, then they can vote. And at the same time, I'm also going to make a small function to give an approximate age or approximate number of years that the user will have before they can retire. So let's just say the age of retirement in this case is 65. So, okay, so we're going to say if age is smaller than 18, and then we're going to put a colon because we are running a new block of text. We're going to print out the statement saying you are not old enough to vote yet, and then you can close that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and quickly run this. Okay, so I'm going to type in main here. How old are you? Let's say I'm 12. Okay, and it says you're not old enough to vote yet. But let's say you are at least 18 or over. So all we can simply do is put else print you are now, or you are old enough to vote. Now all I've done here is I've said if you're less than 18, you're not old enough. However, if you are 18 or above, so I'm saying however, if you are 18, then you are old enough to vote. That's all this small function is. Now, if you are using multiple functions, in my next video I'll quickly go through the elif statement, which is a lead on from this video, which just goes on to show you how you can effectively use multiple variables so you can have several if statements at once. Okay, so we're saying if you're less than 18 you can't vote, and if you are over 18 then you can vote. And so that's going to be our basic program. Let's go ahead and run this. How old are you? I'm 12. You can't vote. Let's rerun it. Let's say I'm 97. You are old enough to vote. Now the final thing we're going to do is we are going to find how many years it will take before you want to retire. So let's create a variable and call this retire, and that's going to be 65 minus age. So we're saying that if the age of retirement is 65, you're minusing it from the age that you're inputting, and you get your value. And now let's go ahead and print. Just gonna print, and I'm going to print out a new statement saying you have, and then in squiggly brackets we're going to put a 0, years left before you can retire. Okay, so what I've done here is I've said the initial program, which answers the first question, are you old enough to vote? The second part of it is when will you be able to retire? So what I've done here is this print with open and closed brackets just effectively makes it a new paragraph, so everything's not as bunched up together. The second print statement is saying you have this amount of years before you can retire. And what I've done is you open up a squiggly brackets and you put 0, close your squiggly brackets, then at the end you can put dot format and then open and then input your first, or input the variable that you're using. Now let's say I had a different variable that I could input into here. I would put 1, and then over here I'd put whatever the second variable would be, and it's just separated by a comma. Again, I will go through all of this completely in the next video when we're using elif statements as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. So, 1 second. Okay, so main. How old are you? I'm 12. You're not old enough to vote yet, and you still have 53 years left before you can retire. Let's say I'm 65, or let's say I'm 66. You are old enough to vote, and you have -1 years left before you can retire. Because it simply just finds the difference, because I've said 65 minus the age that I've been given, so it will be 65 minus 66 to give you -1. And that's really about it. Using if and else statements are fairly simplistic, and they can be used for a whole variety of things, especially if you are trying to ask the user whether they want something or not, or whether they have something or they don't have something. And that's really what the use of them are. In my next video, I will go through the elif statements, and based on this program, how you can make it a little bit more interesting, and how you can use several different variables to in one program. I'm Carl from carlsaptia.com. Thank you very much for watching.